Hey guys, it's Cody with After 5 Outdoors. Today I'm with Tony Elwell from the Department of Natural Resources, and today we're going to be talking about the 2021 spring turkey hunting season in Minnesota. We're going to cover the seasons, we're going to cover the firearms, we're going to cover a lot of different things today and hopefully give you a better understanding of the rules and regulations for the turkey hunting season. We did this last year and it was fairly successful, so we're going to do it again this year. So first of all, I just want to say thanks, Tony, for coming here and doing this with us and providing this information.
Thank you.
Okay, so the first thing that we want to cover in this video today is we want to cover the season dates. So can you kind of tell us a little bit about the seasons for the spring turkey hunt?
Sure. So our season will open on the 14th of April and it will run all the way through the 31st of May. Within that season, we've got several different time periods like we've had in the past, A through the F time periods. Generally 7 days a piece until that F season, I believe, is 12 or 13 days long.
Right, and that, the F season is like till the 31st of May or something like that.
That's correct, yes sir.
Okay, so now in those seasons, if you're hunting with a firearm, a shotgun, then you have to pick one of those seasons, or you have to pick one of the first seasons, and then the F season is for everybody if you don't tag one. But archery, you can hunt the entire season, right?
That's correct. Archery hunters with an archery license, you can hunt that entire season from April 14th through the 31st.
Okay, so in the turkey hunting season, now you're only able to take a tom in the spring season, right?
Yep, a legal bird will be an adult turkey with a visible beard. So generally speaking, toms and jakes, males are only going to have that beard.
Right.
So that's what the spring season bird is.
But on occasion, you do come across a bearded hen.
Yeah, every once in a while. I've never seen one, but you know, it happens.
All right, so if you're going to go buy your turkey license, you go to the store and you go to the register or whatever, and you want to purchase your turkey license. Can you kind of talk us through what you need to do in order to get your license?
Sure. You arrive at the vendor, and you can do this online too, but you can buy one or the other of the licenses, either the firearms license, which will allow you to hunt with a shotgun, or an archery license. You can't buy both, unfortunately. So if you're a shotgun hunter, you're going to need to know what time period that you want to hunt in. Once you choose that time period, you're restricted to hunt in that time period unless you don't harvest a bird in that time period. That license becomes valid again during the F season. And both archery and firearms hunters, you would also need to annotate which permit area that you plan to hunt the most. Now that doesn't restrict you to that permit area. That is strictly for our wildlife managers. They can get pressure ratios and hunter to harvest information off of that, so that you can hunt anywhere in the state. It's a statewide license. You just have to let them know which permit area that you most likely will hunt in.
Okay, now there is no more draw licenses in Minnesota. It's all over the counter?
Generally speaking, yes. This is the second year that they've gone away with the lottery for those first couple of time periods. There are a few WMAs still, Whitewater WMA, I believe, Carlos Avery, and Mille Lacs WMA. Those first three time periods are still under a lottery. That time period for the application stuff has come and gone, but generally speaking, when you buy either your shotgun or your archery license, it's good through the entire state.
So we have the license portion covered. Let's talk a little bit about the youth part of turkey hunting. What youths can hunt with, and if do they need a guardian and stuff like that? Same
as always, the youth license, it's either a firearm or an archery license, but the unique thing about the youth license is with the firearms license, they're allowed to hunt the entire season from April 14th through the end of May with the shotgun. They aren't restricted to a specific time period like adults would be. So anybody under 17 and under on a youth license can hunt the entire season either with a shotgun or with archery equipment.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about firearms and archery. What are the legal methods of taking a turkey with a firearm?
Firearms, we're restricted to either a breech loading shotgun or a muzzle loading shotgun. Those are legal. On that firearms license, 10 gauge or smaller is in gauge. The kind of shot we can use is number 4 or finer, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. That's legal. There is not a restriction for non-toxic or toxic shots unless you're hunting on like a waterfowl production area or federal land. They're a non-migratory bird, so they're not covered under that. So you don't have to worry about toxic shot if you don't want, and there's no restriction to the number of shells you can have in your gun, like migratory waterfowl. And
so you do not need a plug.
You don't need a plug for a shotgun.
Okay.
Red dot scopes are lawful, and as long as we're talking about electronic devices, electronic calling is not lawful. You can't use electronic call to call in turkeys. You can use, like I said, range finders, red dot scopes. You can even use devices to enhance your hearing, so Walker's game ear type of devices. Those are legal for both shotgun and archery.
Okay, so we've kind of covered the firearms portion. Now, if you're wanting to hunt turkeys in Minnesota this spring with a bow and arrow or a crossbow, what are some of the parameters that you are going to need to follow with that?
Bows have to have a draw weight of no less than 30 pounds. You can use a mechanical release for a bow as long as the hunter is drawing and holding the weight of the string, unless you have a permit that allows for such a thing. Field points or broadheads, they have to have at least 2 cutting edges. They have to be of barbless design, and they have to be at least 7/8 of an inch in diameter. Blunt head type of judo points, things like that, those are lawful as well.
Okay.
Mechanical broadheads, same thing, two cutting edges, metal cutting edges. They have to be at least 7/8 of an inch at or after impact. And the same goes true with the barbless design. And then also, we're not allowed to use poison or explosive tip arrows for turkey hunting. So
okay. Now, so the crossbow, is there a lot of difference between the crossbow bolts would have to have the same type of heads and,
yep.
and
same type of thing, and as long as we're touching on crossbows, the same kind of rules are going to apply for turkey as we have for our deer season. On an archery license, anybody who's 60 or older is allowed to use a crossbow in lieu of a regular traditional bow and arrow. Anybody with a disability permit for a crossbow can also use a crossbow on an archery license, which would allow them to hunt the entire season. Okay. Anybody can use a crossbow with a firearms license, but they obviously have to adhere to the time periods and all those things. So it's basically just like, deer hunting. Okay. With a firearms license, anybody can use a crossbow, and then anybody over 60 or a disability permit can use a crossbow with their archery license. Okay,
so moving on, let's kind of cover some of the general rules and restrictions of the 21 spring turkey hunt in Minnesota. Can you just kind of give us a rundown of some of the general rules and regulations?
Sure. So we've already touched on what a legal bird is. You can't party hunt for turkeys. Okay, so you can hunt with somebody, a licensed hunter. You can help each other hunt, but you can't kill a bird for me and I can't kill a bird for you. Okay. An unlicensed turkey hunter can also aid a licensed turkey hunter in the hunt, calling, whatever. They're not allowed, obviously not allowed to take the bird with any weapon. Other restrictions: baiting, not allowed to bait for turkeys. Same kind of thing as deer. You can't put corn down or anything like that. If you're hunting an agricultural field that has waste grain in it naturally from natural regular agricultural practices, that's not considered bait, just like for deer. So no baiting, can't do that. Can't use live birds as decoys.
So what about dogs? Can you use dogs for turkey hunting?
Cannot. Dogs are not allowed. Technically, you can't even have your buddy sitting in the blind with you. So you got to leave the dogs at home for turkeys. Okay.
What are the legal shooting hours for turkeys?
Legal shooting hours will be the same as general small game, half hours before sunrise to sunset. That sunset and sunrise tables are on the back of the handbooks, the hunting. There's even one in the fishing. Pretty much any kind of weather app is going to give you the sunrise and sunset. So
for your area, yeah.
For the area you're in.
All right, so you're out hunting, you bought your license, you're out in the blind, your bird comes in, you shoot your bird. What's your next step?
Next step is to validate your site tag, just like our deer tags. We've got 3 things that we have to validate on the license: either the day, the month, and then AM or PM. That has to be done with a knife. You can cut it. Some people have a punch. You punch it out, permanent marker or pen. That has to be done immediately before you pick the bird up, before you move it, anything like that. So at this point, you don't have to put the tag on the bird. Okay, you can grab the bird, walk back to your vehicle. You can also field dress the bird, take the entrails out. That's as far as you can go until you register that bird. Okay, so bird's dead, you validate, bring it back to your truck. That tag has to go on that bird before it's transported. Okay. If go ahead.
Oh, and you can at the side of your kill too. You can go on your phone and register your bird too. It's super simple.
Yep. There's a phone number you can call. You can do it online. You can bring it in. But yeah, you can do it if you have cell signal right there at the site of the kill. Once the bird is registered, that's when you can break it down. But in order to transport that bird, you have to leave at least a fully feathered wing attached to the bird, or a leg with a foot attached, and that's so we can tell whether it's a hen or a tom or whatnot.
Right.
Wings are a little bit different, and then obviously there's a spur on the male birds. So let's say you're out, you don't have cell signal, you can't register it on your phone. As long as you don't leave that permit area, you're okay without registering the bird. Now there may be a situation where you have no signal, you're on the border of two permit areas. I mean, you have to cross that permit area. Let's say there's a gas station on the other side. As long as you're taking a direct route and you go right to that registration station to register the bird, you're okay. But otherwise, that bird cannot leave that permit area until it is registered. And then finally, you have 24 hours after you harvest that bird to register it.
So you shoot your bird, you validate your tag. If you have signal, just jump on your phone and you can register it right there, and then you can transport it once you've got that taken care of. But you just have to leave the wing or a foot on.
Yep, fully feathered wing or a leg with a foot.
Okay.
And then again, that tag has to be attached, validated to that bird before it's transported.
Right. So let's talk about one of it's kind of a big problem in really any hunting season. Trespassing.
Yep. Trespassing is by far the #1 issue that we deal with in any hunting season. For whatever reason, I don't know, but we get a number of calls, especially turkey season and deer season, but turkey as well. Super important that we know where we're hunting and that we have permission to hunt, and we know the trespass laws. So there's quite a bit of different kind of land that does not need to be posted at all. Agricultural land, so basically anything that has standing crops, has stubble, it's been plowed, tilled, things like that. CRP is considered agricultural land as well, and sometimes that can be kind of hard to determine. Okay, something that's been in CRP for a long time. Other things like tree plantations, hybrid popple, anything under 15 years old is considered agricultural land and does not need to be posted. So best bet is find out where you're at, know where public lines are, things of that nature. If you see a sweet spot with birds on it, do your best to get permission. The worst that can happen is that they can say no.
Right.
So trespassing is a big deal. You can lose your hunting privileges for up to 2 years. You can lose the equipment that you're using. It's a pretty big fine as well. So no turkey is worth losing all that.
Right. One thing I just thought of, when you're going out turkey hunting, obviously you want to be as camouflaged as you possibly can. Is there any blaze orange requirements for turkey?
No, not in the spring season. You can be fully camoed.
Okay.
Obviously, there's safety considerations. You don't want to wear red, white, or blue. The colors of a tom turkey might be mistaken, but camo is good. Blinds, things like that, don't need to be marked or anything. Which brings up another point. When we're hunting on WMAs, wildlife management areas, state lands, we're not allowed to leave blinds out there, or any kind of equipment for that matter during turkey season. So if you're going to use a blind on a wildlife management area, or some kind of stand or whatever, you have to make sure you're taking that equipment out, your decoys, things like that, at the end of the night.
So basically whatever you pack in, you need to pack out.
That's correct.
So just on a side note, we were talking off camera here, if you're out turkey hunting and you're out, you're blind, whatever, make sure you just have a shotgun with you. You can't bring a rifle with you or anything. Like if I see a coyote, I want to shoot him. If you're out turkey hunting, you have to have the gauge or method of what's legal for turkeys. You're not able to have another firearm with you.
That's correct. And the same goes for archery. Obviously you can't have a firearm with you. Now if you're a permit to carry holder, permit to carry a pistol, handgun, you're allowed to have that handgun with you, either as a archery hunter or a firearms hunter. So that's still okay. So
you're a spring turkey hunter, you get out this spring and you shoot a turkey. Can you go out this fall in the fall season and shoot one as well?
You can. You're legally allowed to take one bird in the spring and one bird in the fall. The fall season generally is a little less restrictive. Obviously, we don't have, it's not a breeding season and things like that. There's one license to buy. You can either use a firearm or archery equipment for that. There's no time period.
And it's generally less popular too, so you're gonna, if you hunt the fall season, you're going to have a little less competition, I noticed last year than I did in the spring as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot fewer turkey hunters out in the fall. They're doing other things, but it's kind of a unique challenge. They don't respond as well to calling and things like that. So just trying to think of other restrictions for the fall season. There's no restriction on sex. You can take either
a hen or a tom.
Hen or a tom. It's good to go.
All right, so we covered the general rules and regs of the 2021 spring turkey hunting season. If there's something that we missed, didn't cover, or a question that you have, put your question in the comments of this video, and I will get that question over to Tony, get it answered, and I'll get you an answer back. I hope you found this video informative. I hope it helps you out. And a special thanks to Tony for coming and meeting us and doing this video. We're standing here. We got a pretty good north wind blowing down our shirts here, getting a little chilly, but hope you like this video, and I hope you can get out and enjoy God's great outdoors, and we'll see you on the next one, and good luck with your turkey hunt this season.